machine. Like, it was already hard enough transferring from an HDD to an SSD, and
it's not that hard to transfer stuff over. If you just have an SSD, you just plug it into the new system, you know, and then it'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I got my new computer, I just had all my hard drives and my SSDs that I just had connected to my old computer, just plugged them into this one, and it just works.
It just works. As wise Todd Howard once said.
Not as Todd Howard says. When he says it, he's lying. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, for your editing product, like, getting a good, like, I don't know, like, $800 computer would do you wonders at this point. Especially since editing is, like, partially your job now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason I'm like, I recommend just getting a really good computer. Like, not even something, like, brand new, like a 400 series, like a 40 series. Like, getting even, like, a 20 or 30 series would do you good. Because then you can, because like, you know how you're taking.
I think even if it was like exactly what I had now, but just with a bit better GPU, it would probably do wonders for me.
It's like, because like you're taking 2 hours to render a video. For me, it takes 20 minutes.
I suppose that's true.
It's like, that's what I'm saying.
Well, but at the same time, currently it's using way more CPU than GPU.
Yeah, you need a good CPU and GPU. You need, like, both. At least in my experience. Like, I had to do a lot of research on my laptop when I got mine. Because I was like, I need it for editing, I need it for streaming, I need it for gaming. I need it for schoolwork. And now that I'm no longer in college, it's about time for me to start saving up for just a really good gaming computer. Instead of gaming on my gaming laptop. Because I have no need for a laptop anymore. It literally just stays in one spot all day. It does not move.
Like, I still need a laptop because I'm going in and out of state for college and stuff. So.
But yeah, Nacho, I know it's rough for you. Like, what country do you live in again, Nacho? Your accent makes it hard to tell.
like, and now that I'm thinking about with you saying that it only takes like 20 minutes for you to render a video, this is like, what is it, 1 hour and 37 minutes of generations footage? Now you know what my time is.
Yeah, I'm saying it would take me 20 minutes to render a 1 hour and 30 minutes of generations footage at 1080p 60 FPS. On my that's why I'm saying, like, having a good computer helps. Because it used to take me hours to render videos. I think, like, my old GT video that was like half an hour, that took forever to render my first time. Now if I rendered it, it would take me like 10 minutes. Like, maybe less.
Accent is a mixture of just learning English by watching memes and listening to streams. I imagine that would be efficient.
That, yeah, dang. That's a crazy. Honestly, that's actually more impressive than you think. Because as someone who, I've listened to other people talk in other languages, doesn't mean I know the language now. Like, so, I say that's pretty amazing to learn English from just watching streams and memes. That's crazy to me. It's crazy talent.
I always hear people talk about how I always hear people talking about how smooth of an experience learning Japanese was or whatever.
I took Japanese class. They lied. You know, Japanese is actually the hardest language for an English learner to speak. It is the hardest language because it has nothing to do with our language.
I've taken Chinese, so
No, I'm talking about officially. Like, my Japanese teacher even showed us officially by the U.S., because the U.S. has to do ambassador systems, so the people have to know a lot of languages. Officially, according to, like, the U.S. ambassador systems or whatever, Japanese is the hardest to learn. Like, it takes the longest and the most amount of effort. It's because it just has nothing to... It doesn't follow any rules that English does. You're learning a brand new rule set, a brand new letter set. Nothing's the same. Even the sentences are just shaped differently. We do subject predicate, they do predicate subject. So, like, you talk about what like, for example, instead of saying, Jake went to run, you would say, in Japanese, you're saying, running Jake is. Or running Jake was. You could imagine how that's a little frustrating. Because it's like the opposite.
That doesn't make sense. I remember Chinese followed pretty similar to English subject predicate order, so I guess that does sound kind of weird at first.
Yeah, the sentences are like backwards. And then mixed up, and then the middle, but then sometimes they're in order. It's weird. It's like, there's a lot of rules, and basically the answer to, how do I learn these rules? You just gotta know. You just gotta know. Context clues, baby.
You know what I hope there's a translation to at some point? The Sonic Frontiers soundtrack commentary, because they have translations of the commentary for a bunch of other Sonic games, like for Colors, Generations, Lost World.
There's commentary for Frontiers? That would be interesting to have.
Like there's also soundtrack commentaries for the other Sonic games. So, like Colors and Lost World even have like a foreword from Morio Kishimoto. Forces doesn't, because clearly he was embarrassed of that game.
No one wanted to be a part of that game. No one was proud of it. I don't think anyone was proud of that game. Because remember, Kishimoto was all over Frontiers' interviews. He was in Lost World interviews. You know who was doing interviews for Forces? Nakamura, the producer.
Exactly.
No one on the development team wanted to be involved with Forces. You know where Izuka was? Mania. He was all over Mania. Where was he in the Forces marketing? Where was he?
Nowhere, bro.
But he was over there at Mania. He was like, man, Mania's gonna be so good, guys. It's gonna be so good. That's what happens when you...
I posted the Forces commentary in the Sonic channel if you want to see it later.
Oh,
once you're done.
Little sooner funny mode that you just learn how Japanese works. Japanese is weird. And also, you don't say I, you say I, that's what des is, which is I, but you say I at the end of your sentence. You say, it's like, you don't start with I, you use. Wonderful. It's like, working, it's hospital working I am. That's how they speak. And now you can understand why it's really hard for Japanese people to speak English, because they have to, that's why their broken English is very specific. Because they're used to saying words in a completely different order. By the way, I hate Japanese. I hate Japanese. It sucked. It was terrible. I never want to learn Japanese ever after that class. I hate... Why do you have hiragana? All right? Why, imagine if English had not only an alphabet, but another alphabet that was just used less often than the other alphabet, all right? It's just, but it was still used, and you still had to know, and the other alphabet was just used for foreign words. And then also had kanji, which is you just gotta know. You just gotta know. They're just pictures. They're just pictures. You just gotta know, man. You just gotta know. How do you have kanji, hiragana, and katakana? How do you? Who does this? And guess how katakana was made? Guess you want to know? You want to know why katakana was made? It was made because women would. Sorry, but like it was. I'm taking the bottom path again, I guess. But it was made because women wanted to have their own have their own thing because like they weren't allowed to like not allowed, but like women weren't like taught to read, so like they created their own version of hiragana. So there's some overlap, but not a lot of overlap. It's weird and it sucks, and I want to die. I wanted to die.
Well, someone was asking, didn't Kishimoto say dash right doing it? That was Nakamura, actually. And now he's producing Shadow Generations.
And guess what else he produced? Sonic 06. Oh my gosh, I keep messing this up. Oh my gosh, I'm actually terrible.
Wait, he directed that one, I think. There's a difference.
Yeah, he directed Sonic 06 after the guy who made Sonic and the Secret Rings left to go make Sonic and the Secret Rings. Because, of course, Sonic and the Secret Rings was more important.
Very, very much worth splitting people. But I think I do remember there being, like, one interview of Kishimoto during Forces. I don't remember much about it, though. The one thing I remember was, like, how the game's conception, like, came from the fact that it was being developed for PS4 and Xbox One, so they chose the war setting because people on those systems like more mature games. Yeah,
the game was actually supposed to be really edgy, and then they just kind of backtracked in like the last year of development to make it not edgy anymore. Mephiles was supposed to be in Forces.
But then again, at the time when they were making the game, it was around the time when Snipe was literally hated. What I've heard.
Oh no! What was hated? Sorry, you stuttered your way through that.
At the time, like before
Sonic
the
06
movies,
and
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Sonic 06 was still hated, but like they were gonna go for an edgy thing, and they
as the reason why Sonic Forces was Sonic Forces because of they were too afraid to make another Sonic 06.
That's not exactly why. That's just a fan feeling. The reason why they changed it, they just got cold feet about it.
Also, yeah, and also, again, Sonic's reputation compared to now has not. Well, back then, Sonic was. I mean, he was iconic, but
he was not iconic. He was a joke. He was bottom barrel. He was about to start hanging out with Crash and Spyro after Sonic Boom.
That's what I mean. Sonic was like a hard rock and a rock and a hard place.
Vashro says people give Kishimoto crap for his track record. I mean, I don't know if it's entirely undeserved. Like he seemed to have a lot of full confidence in Sonic Lost World, and that sort of backfired.
I mean, I think the thing is, what Lost World proves to me is that the dude wants to make something, not something else, but like he obviously isn't a big fan of boost gameplay, which is why Sonic Forces is the way that it is. He's just not a boost fan.
That was kind of something. That was sort of something I kind of gleaned from when he was on Twitter. Like his thought process going into Sonic Lost World is that he tried making stages with infinite width, and that's why we got the Mario Galaxy tubes.
Mm-hmm. The idea with Lost World also, also Lost World kind of like they haven't said this, but let's be real. Let's look at the timeline of events. That wasn't supposed to be the big mainline Sonic team game, because the people who made Lost World was the team who was making the Wii games before, you know? Mm-hmm. It was those guys. It was the B team. The A team was the people who made Unleash and Generations. But the A team disappeared after Boom because everyone got fired except the B team. Well, even the B team still technically got fired because most of the people who worked on Forces were new. A lot of them were new. Not everyone. There was a lot of people who just worked on, Wii games and stuff. Again, the B team. They were not the go-to guys.
And
I looked into this.
Worked on Nintendo games after that.
Like, I remember from your video, a lot of the people who worked on Forces were mostly just Wii and Lost World people.
Yeah. Well, I did look into this a bit, and I think the thing is that there was actually some overlap between Generations and Lost World.
There was some,
but,
yeah.
Well, I think what I found was kind of interesting was that with Forces, a lot of the artists were veterans, but when it comes to programming, the Hedgehog engine programmers credited were a lot of veterans, but the gameplay programmers consisted of a few people who came from Sonic Runners and some other things.
Yeah, so it was people from the mobile division, basically. Interesting.
And you kind of know the whole thing about the designers.
Yeah. But it's like a lot of the staff was brand new, or from Wii games, and they were never meant to make a mainline. They were always doing experimental stuff. They were never supposed to actually make the next big Sonic game. So Lost Worlds was supposed to be like an experimental thing, but then it turns out you're in charge now. What? You're it. You're the guys. You make the next game now. Sonic Boom was a failure.
From the team that brought you Sonic Overs and Sonic Generations.
My ass.
What was also kind of interesting was that a lot of people who worked on Frontiers were never credited as having worked on a major video game before.
Yeah, Frontiers was well, they did say that they hired a lot of new people for Frontiers.
And afterwards.
They're still hiring. I think they just stopped hiring last year.
I do hope a lot of them come back the next year.
Yeah, so they can develop. But yeah, no, Sonic. The reason why Sonic games are the way they are always because of business politics. Very rarely because of talent.
Despite what some people would have you believe.
Like the second talent emerges, they may destroy it.
The guy who directed Sonic Generations, you know what he worked on after Sonic Generations? Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games.
No, it was the real 2016.
Oh no, that was the
specifically on 3DS.
Oh yeah, no, that was the last game he worked on. I'm saying the one that he worked on after Gens. The one he worked on after Gens was the Winter one, but the last game he worked on was the 3DS version of Mario and Sonic. Which is insane. You have the guy who made the best Sonic game in years, and then you put him on the Mario and Sonic division? Are you kidding me, dog?
It's pretty good. Sega's literally retarded.
It's like, what are you thinking? He made the best game. Give him a promotion. You let Shun Nakamura become a producer, and he only made Sonic 06. Why is he allowed to move up in the world? No wonder all your workers went to Nintendo.
No one was Sonic has a reputation like this, bro. Like, to give credit to Mario games, at least with Mario games, right? Yeah. At least they,
Well, Nintendo in general, they have incredibly high employee retention, which is very rare for the game industry. No one gets fired and people don't want to leave. So they have really high employee retention. So the people who made games like 20 years ago are still the same people making games. So they're good at it. So they have veterans. Like the only person who's like from old school Sonic team at current Sonic is Izuka. And that's it. That's the
and
only.
He's like running the whole thing.
And and he's like
running the whole thing.
Yeah, and he came in at Sonic 3. And he seems like the only one who cares. He's just trying to keep everything together.
I think this is why I kind of moved on from like this is why I branched out of Sonic and tried out other high-speed platformers.
As I forget, even I just want more Sonic fans to play other games. Because sometimes you gotta leave the bubble, man. You just gotta leave the bubble.
bro. Because why don't I actually play a good game like fucking Spark? I can't lie.
Play some AAA games, bro. I swear, bro. Some of them are pretty good. They're not these walking simulators that these freaking old people keep trying to tell you that they are. you know, they have gameplays. Why people play them?
I don't know.
You don't know because you own a Switch.
Bro, I don't only own a Switch, bro. I have an Xbox Series S and the fucking thingy.
Alright, okay, alright. Okay.
No, I'm not offended. I'm just saying, bro. Also, again, I'm gonna preface this. This is my opinion, because people have the right to like just like art style. I just do not like the realistic art style, in my opinion.
So I guess yeah. Man, you must hate looking outside your window. Man, this realistic art style. Can't say it.
Listen, bro.
Sorry, it's just too easy to make jokes out of that statement.
My mind's going back to Sonic with that, and it's got discussions surrounding Frontiers' art style.
I'm weird. I'm weird when it comes to Sonic. I actually do not mind when Sonic is incredibly hyper-realistic. In fact, that's partially a part of the appeal for me.
Well, the thing is that prior to Lost Road, pretty much every 3D Sonic game tried to be realistic.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of people don't.
Tried to have some.
Ooh, oh, all right, never mind. I'm not doing that strat no more. Apparently, God hates me. I'm not doing that strat no more.
It's not like I don't respect it, because you know there has to be that has to be have a lot of talent to do that kind of shit. But at the same time, it's just all samey, and you know what I mean.
I mean, I understand what you mean, but then it's also like, well, life looks like that, you know? But anyway, what I was about to say about the Sonic thing is that Sonic games always aim to be, at least when they made the jump to 3D, they've always aimed to be realistic. But the thing is, they just didn't have the graphical capability, and a lot of people are now realizing that games have always been reaching for realism. It's just that the graphics weren't good enough for realism to be achievable.
Yeah, something that always stuck out to me was like people rag on Sonic's aesthetical shift, but like when you compare like Mario 64 to fast 2D Mario games,
it was a huge jump, completely different.
Mario 64 tried to be more realistic, like the textures were a lot more detailed, and
I mean, heck, well, I guess with Mario had less of a consistent art style when you think about it. Mario 1, 2. Lost Levels, I mean 2, not the Doki Doki Panic one. But Mario 1, 2, those are the only games that look the same back then. Because, like, 3 has a completely different art style, and that was still on the same system. And then Mario and World looks completely different from 1, 2, and 3. So, like, Mario just never had a solid art style.
Why do you keep letting yourself get flattened by the Death Egg robot?
Because if you can get a quick hits in, if you let him crush you, you can get under him and then get a hit in on his butt, and then you could do that twice to end the boss fight quickly. And I allowed it in the competition because they asked me about it, and I was like, sure, fine.
See, Classic Speed Highway is just like the original one that you have to jump at the beginning to get the shortcut.
Dude, Classic Speed Highway is so good. Up and down and all around. I don't know how I did that, but we're here now. We're here now. This is the path we're on now. Pass or what? I hate when I miss a platform by like a millimeter, bro.
I keep forgetting how to do that part. That one.
Not my best Speed Highway. I did better last time. Can someone read chat for me? Because I haven't been able to look at chat for a second.
Something Sonic had a rough transition to 3D. People act like it needs to be perfect to be just be passable.
Sonic's rough transition to 3D.
I made a video on that.
I think everything.
It's been nearly 4 years.
It's like, honestly, I think all games that were 2D and then went 3D had a rough transition to 3D. Mega Man had a rough transition to 3D, hence why he's still 2D.
I think exactly.
Like they tried 3D once and then never again.
They tried it. They were like, "Oh no!"
Series, all of the main series, Legends is kind of different.
Yeah, they tried it and then said, "Oh no," and then they gave up.
Right, for the best. So literally living by the "It's ready when it's ready" mantra. I'm guessing that's referring to Nintendo. People want him fired. I think that's referring to Izuka.
Izuka? Izuka's the only person who cares about this franchise.
I'm sure other people care, but like,
not anyone in the high.
He's the trooper.
It's like it's like people get mad at him for like the colors and generations and everything and the change in tone, but he did what was needed for the franchise.
Plus, it's not really entirely his fault. It's more to do with Sega itself.
Oh, no. Colors was his decision. He's made it very clear. I did that because there was a bunch of complaints from everyone, and I looked at Mario and all other franchises, and they seemed to have some sort of simplicity, and everyone understood. And at the time, no one knew what a Sonic game was, and everyone was just making different games. And that is true. Everyone was just making different games at the time. The US team was making games, the Japanese team, and the teams weren't talking to each other, and there was just Sonic games were just coming out. There was no consistency, there was no lore, everything was just coming out at all times just because it needed to, because we needed a game out by Christmas. Ooh, missed that.
And that's like a cool piece of this with 2020s.
And I don't know.
I mean, we've got at least one Sonic game a year.
Which is not good. Which is not good. I know Sonic fans are like, ugh, that means that the franchise is healthy. One Sonic game a year is bad. No other franchise is getting one Sonic game a year. I mean, one game a year. Unless you're Mario, and that's because Mario has 50 different franchises. You can make a Mario RPG. You can make a remake. You can make 2 different Mario RPGs, actually. You can make a 2D game. You can make a 3D game. You can make a Mario Party. You can make a Mario sports game. There's so much variety with Mario. That's why he gets games all the time. Sonic does not need to come out with a game every year. I don't attest to that. But Sonic fans are so used to when Sonic game was just pumping out 4 to 5 games a year that they're just like, oh man, we need games.
Bro, play something else, bro. There's other games other than goddamn Sonic.
I mean, at the rate we're currently going, I'm perfectly fine because like I really liked both Frontiers and Superstars, but I guess I'm an anomaly in that case.
I think Superstars is okay. It's a solid game. Just doesn't impress me. I think it had some good ideas, but
Sonic Superstars to me, it just feels like it isn't feel, to me it doesn't feel like it's innovating on anything.
It innovated. I think it innovated good enough. It had the Emerald powers. That's a big innovation. That wasn't in any classic Sonic game.
I like that. The thing is, people just everyone said that they just wanted Mania with original levels and like no one really demanded that they innovated besides like adding new characters and stuff.
I think they did a. I think Superstars. I know Sonic fans are gonna get PTSD when I say this. Is a good first step. It's a step in the right direction. But the problem is that Mania was perfect. You know.
Also, Sonic Superstars is not going to age well compared to Mania.
What? Why do you say that?
Well, I disagree because people started out hating it. So
usually 3D games do not age well when it comes to 2D games. You know what I mean?
That's not really as accurate. That's not as accurate anymore, dude. We don't live in the 2000s anymore. Graphics aren't gonna get much better than they are now.
Plus, in terms of Superstars, that literally just is the graphics style.
Also,
it's still a 2D game.
No, I know what he's saying is that because it has 3D models, it's not gonna age as well as Mania. And I want to ask you a question. Octocam. Do you think Generations looks like garbage?
No.
This game?
No.
Then okay, your point is disproven.
This game is 13 years old.
If you want to play Generations of Superstars, right? The one thing, at least of Generation, is that it's running. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have an argument.
Is like.
Because Superstar runs at 4K 60 FPS. It already outshines Gens.
Yeah, but like.
Also, I think the character models and lighting is even better than in Gens. I think the backgrounds are like bad, but that's about it. That's not even 3D. That's just they decided to blur the backgrounds. Unless you have it on PC. If you have it on PC, you can change the backgrounds from being blurry. If you have it on,
these are things we're already nitpicking at. Like, it's not going to change that much in the next.
Yeah, it's like graphics are not going to get much better. If games like Sonic Generations, this game came out in 2011, still holds up relatively well. Sonic Unleashed still holds up relatively well, and that game's almost 20 years old. Then I think Superstars is fine. In terms of like graphically, and its art style is good. It has a good art style.
A lot of the animations are good, in my opinion.
The animations are probably better than most Sonic
it's
games.
Really bland. Well, but then again, Sonic games after, I'm gonna say after probably post Lost World has been.
I would say that like the levels in that game are completely original. Like nothing really seems super derivative.
They do
kind of fall into tropes, but yeah.
But like, are Sonic games not allowed to have desert levels anymore? You know, it's like we get.
No. Nobody says Sonic games shouldn't have desert levels. It's just the fact that it just looks too generic. Maybe that's the reason.
I think that's too hard to describe though, because like it's like that's. Because I'm like, it's like generic. Because I can't think of anything that looks like Sonic Superstars out on the market right now. I would say it's not like explosive like Mario Bros. Wonder or anything, where it's just like, oh, that's like 100% a unique thing. But I can't say that there's anything that really looks exactly like. I can't just place another character in the levels in Sonic Superstars and go like, yeah, that fits. Like, I can't put Mega Man in it or anything, or, like, Rayman. Those aren't Rayman levels. Those aren't... it's like, those are definitely Sonic levels. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I think the...
I would say that Superstars had enough original ideas for me to call it an original product. It's not super derivative, but I do think that the things that they did... the multiplayer kneecapped the game, at least for me, because Sonic is not as fast or as it could be, and the drop dash sucks in that game because he can't be at top speed because he has to be slowed down so other characters can keep up. And that I don't know, just there's things like that where I know the compromises they made to make a multiplayer game, and I don't like them. But that's just completely personal. Oh my gosh!
Honestly,
one more time.
I wish it was like split screen. I can't lie.
Split screen would not work in a Sonic game. In a platformer.
SAQ battle.
It's like that's a.
Well, that's not 3D.
Co-op. That's 3D number 1, and number 2 that's co-op. And then not co-op. That's versus. But
it could still work.
I mean,
and again, you could, well, no, not in 3D. Because, like, It Takes Two exists.
Doesn't Superstars use the split screen for the competitive stuff?
I don't think so. It's just one big screen, and everyone's on it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they don't use split screen, because it doesn't work in 2D. Split screen works in 3D now. I could be wrong. I'm not as...
Whatever I think.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but like I know that like at least in the co-op they definitely don't. I sometimes, oh my gosh, I'm somehow messed up that jump. I'm so mad at myself.
You're asking for trouble. You're asking for your releases. Calling annual releases for Sonic Healthy is like calling living off minimum wage a healthy lifestyle. It's like, to some extent I want to agree, but like as I said, I've been enjoying these recent games for the most part. I think this is still overall a better quality standard in late 2010s, where like games were barely coming out, and when they did, no one talked about them.
Yeah, I would say like I think I said it on Twitter. Sonic is what? I forgot that's an insta-kill. But like I would say Sonic has elevated to being a 7 out of 10 franchise, and it's like, that's cool and all, but like I would prefer if it was better. I just wish it was better.
And it can be better.
But I think Sonic has enough potential for pillars that it can.
Yeah, but Sega would need money. Sega would need money to support that many pillars.
Like Frontiers has been doing pretty well for them sales-wise.
Yeah, it's like the best-selling Sonic game since Sonic Adventure, or something like that.
They admitted that the reason they were able to do. They admitted that the reason they were able to do Shadow Generations in the first place was because of how big Sonic Team has gone now.
Yeah, they were actually able to work on it's because they were gonna remaster gens no matter what, but the Shadow portion was not promised or guaranteed. But they had extra people lying around after Frontiers. And I thought I heard that they started development on Frontiers 2, so that should be coming in like 2 years, hopefully, if they want to have a healthy production schedule. Because games take about 3 to 5 years to make now.
I think if they have like separate teams for stuff, it'll be fine. Like
the next Sonic game should come out in like 2025. Maybe a port or maybe another port next year or something. Unless they have a secret game plan. Oh yeah, that Sonic Rumble game's coming out this year. Everyone forgot about that. Remember that?
Like people said it was really good when they were.
Like when they actually got in, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's actually kind of fun." Yeah, but it was also the Sonic influencers who were saying it was good. You know, Sam procrastinates, Fatal. I don't completely trust them.
Well, if they don't like something, usually they're pretty vocal.
Fatal's pretty nice, and Sam is also pretty forgiving.
tell that to their opinions of the Knuckles series.
That's like the only thing that I've ever seen them be openly negative on. Like, completely. Like, 100%. Like, not even trying to find a silver lining. And I'm more positive on that show than they are. But also because I don't dick ride for Knuckles. So I don't really care what he's in.
I heard some from some other non-content creators who also got to beta test that they had some problems, but overall that it was pretty fun.
I say that the show was a fun. It was a fun show with a terrible ending. It obviously did not have the money to support having Knuckles in it. Like, I could see that they didn't have the money. But I really like some of the episodes, like, early on. I basically... I even like the Wade episode. It's just the last 2 episodes have a distractingly little amount of Knuckles, and the final fight is kind of underplayed and super short, and the show just kind of stops. It's like, oh, that was a terrible ending. Have I... oh, hey, Pim Tom. You got good news? You're buying a new car? Heck yeah. Yeah, it'd be great if like someone could also kind of keep OJ, because like since I'm speedrunning, I actually can't look away for long durations of time.
Unfortunately, you get long durations of time when you watch the white space restoration cutscenes that you can't skip for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's like the game probably when it was on original like PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 hardware, so it can load. I guess that was like it was like a loading screen, kinda. I don't know.
I guess that is kind of. I guess that probably is true, because there's one cutscene where like Tails is like, you brought back quite a bit of this road, and it tries to load in the other stages, and they like pop in right in front of you.
Yeah, it's like really bad. The thing is that only happens on the PC version for some reason, because it doesn't happen on the PlayStation 3 version at least. I don't know about the 360, but I know it doesn't happen on the PlayStation 3 version. It's like a weird thing. Again, the PC version is the most unstable version of Sonic Generations, which is why I'm glad for the remaster, because this game needs a better PC port. Because
hopefully they actually take the initiative to do some of the fixes it needs.
Like some basic fixes. Like even Colors Ultimate did some basic fixes, you know, for at least 60 FPS, you know. So there was things that just break if you play them on Dolphin.
Nacho says he liked the weird musical episode on the Knuckles show.
Yeah,
that was kind of fun.
Yeah, the musical episode was really fun. I think I watched it with Vash. I did a watch party, and Vash was the only one who showed up. We had a good time.
People said it was like the worst episode, and it's kind of weird, but also like the one part where like the relationship between Wade and Knuckles actually matters.
Does it? Because that's the one episode Knuckles is like not in at all.
Right. Well, like they actually try to make a connection between Knuckles' backstory and Wade's current situation.
Oh yeah, they try to do something. Again, I think the showrunners
in a pretty creative way.
Yeah, I think the show did a good job with the money they had, but like they obviously did not have a lot of money. I think they did not realize, like the Paramount when they made the Knuckles show, they didn't realize how much a show like that would cost to make, and they are not Disney, you know? Because like Marvel shows do whatever they want. They actually use too much CGI. There we go, got it. Okay, so lore question. Anyone know what this purple stuff is? Anyone got any?
I don't think so. No. I don't think so. I'm not all that familiar with it. I still haven't played that battle.
I mean, they're basically are technically and Ted. Well, I'm not. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just
Largest
going off
chemical.
in-
Oh, you're a manager. Oh, you're a manager. Sick, man. I'm about to start working my real job pretty soon. So, good for you, man. I'm happy for you, bro. I got nothing. I have no idea. No one knows what it is. It's just in one level and never mentioned again. It's just like, what is it? It's just very weird, right?
Do you think we'll get a do you think we'll get a Sonic boss fight in Shadow Generations?
We talked about that, and we're hoping for it. But and then also we had to have a quick thing. It's like Sonic. It'd be really funny because Shadow has never beaten Sonic in a fight. Just canonically, he never has. Sonic X doesn't count.
It's not canon.
People love to act like that show's canon. It's not.
No, it's not canon at all.
Also, people like to act
I-
like
I
that
guess
show
we're-
is
I guess we're
actually good. Hey, I love Sonic X. It's not a good show.
I guess we're not going to count the different endings of Shadow the Hedgehog.
We don't count those because we don't count those because we don't know which one of those is canon.
Personally, when it comes to Sonic cartoons, I just prefer the OVA.
OVA is interesting. It's a very interesting thing, you know, with
And
the.
that has Sonic, doesn't it?
I think the most extensively I've watched a Sonic cartoon was Sonic Prime Season 1, and I still haven't watched the other two seasons.
Same here, and I have no motivation to watch anymore. It sounded like even the first season was bad. I thought it was like enjoyable kids show, and then I just never had motivation.
But then everyone says that
It's bad.
says
Yeah.
that-
Everyone keeps saying that it's not good, so then you have no motivation to ever get to it unless like you're making a video about it.
Oh, by the way, I watched it. I don't really care for the show, to be honest.
It's
I don't
me anyway.
expect it. Oh,
It's not really meant to be. It's meant to be for kids.
the only it's like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like kids probably enjoy it, so I'm not gonna be like a dick about it. You know, no reason to be
Exactly.
mean. It's like I'm not gonna be one of those. I'm not gonna be a millennial. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And plus,
Sure.
actually, yeah.
You know exactly what I mean by I'm not gonna be a millennial. Everyone knows what I mean.
Okay. Also, by the way, like, if the show's actually canon, if they really hate the writing of that show and say they don't want to make it canon, then by that logic, Sonic Colors isn't canon, because that Sonic had terrible writing.
Yeah, good thing you do a good job at those safety meetings. You don't want anyone to die at your work.
I think part of why.
What, did I not grab a key?
Sonic Prime should.
Oh, I didn't grab a key. I think I missed a key.
Just going off what I remember from Season 1, it feels like Sonic's character is a large part of why people don't want Prime to be considered canon.
then again-
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense if he's Sonic for the games.
It feels incongruent with what we normally we normally know him as like rather static character.
The thing is, I don't even care about that. It's like what from what it sounds like. I mean, not from what it sounds like. From what I remember watching, Sonic is just out of step. I think Sonic Prime is a perfectly fine show in its own bubble. I think it's a terrible attempt at being canon. You know, like I don't believe you. You know.
But then again, I don't think it really cares about the law as what they're explicitly saying.
Sega doesn't care. Sonic Team seems to care. Sega doesn't care. Sega just wants the things to make money. Heck, they even said in things beforehand that Sega, they're not gonna make a lot of money off of Sonic Prime. They already that's how they
It's not high risk.
No. They said that they weren't going to make a lot of money. What Sonic Prime is supposed to do is just make people more aware of the Sonic brand. Basically, it's to get kids to go like, ooh, Sonic, I recognize that from Netflix. That's the only reason why Sonic Prime exists. They've made it...
If you really want to watch a Sonic show, that series and shit, just go watch some Sonic. Go watch some fan animations if you don't care.
I would say the only Sonic show...
I mean,
the only Sonic show that I think is like... I mean, Sonic Boom is a good comedy, but like in terms of like any sort of things that like I'll take it seriously, Sat AM's still like probably.
Oh yeah, by the way,
it's so good.
By the way, to get credit to Sat AM, by the way, I feel like in terms of its story and shit and how they tell the plot is way better than Sonic Force. I mean that's their statement, but you know what I mean.
It's like
not a high bar.
That's what people were saying.
Exactly.
I feel like that's what people were already saying.
Yeah.
It's
like.
It's kind of the same premise too.
No!
So
The homing
it.
attack! Oh my gosh. Unlucky. Luckily it doesn't start me super far back.
I remember we did a release of this game like for, I want to say 2.5 years ago.
2021, so 3.
And I think we were doing one that was a little more casual, but I died over and over to Perfect Chaos.
Oh, one of our casual ones? Oh yeah.
And that might have just been because of what I had equipped. Like it felt weirdly slippery.
Oh. Yeah, that could happen.
Probably had some sort of heist.
You can stop boosting when you're climbing. Nothing changes, you just save on boost. Yeah, but it feels better, man. Like, it just feels better to boost. What really matters is it's like what really matters, I know, is that like it's your entrance speed, because if you do enter him slow, you will struggle to get up Perfect Chaos. But the boost feels good. Alright, okay, so I gotta do crunch time on this last part. Oh, I forgot to press start. I forgot I could skip that. My hands needed a break anyway. Why is it sponsored by the Eggman? What? Snow, you... Dang it, he distracted me with that line. I looked and then I was thinking about it and then I missed the jump. I need to lock it in. You gotta be so careful. Because the spin dash is so powerful, you could just fly off the stage. The thing is, what I find really funny about how the levels kind of shake out is that the classic Sonic levels actually take more from the original level design than the 3D parts do, usually. Which is very interesting. Like, the modern levels kind of just...
My main observation from practicing this stage was that I remember seeing some people talk about the level design in Shadow Generations, how it like has the forces as path diverges for like 5 seconds and then it links up on us immediately, but like that could be applied to a lot of 3D Sonic games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like people are like having. Oh yeah, sorry. Continue. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
What I found interesting was that classic Sonic in this game is somewhat different in that sometimes your platform, whatever routes you manage to take early on, can affect what happens background in the stage.
Yeah.
Take Seaside Hill, like even if you take an early skip, you'll be in the background for like most of the stage.
Yeah, the classic Sonic stages are really, really well designed, and they've never designed classic Sonic stages like this ever again. And that's why I get really mad when people do say, go like, oh man, the classic Sonic isn't good because it's not accurate to the physics of the Genesis. Does it matter if it's still fun, man? If it's still fun, does it matter?
I do think. I mean, what my
Forces did scar people. Forces did scar people because people now have like weird beef with things that they were completely okay with beforehand. But then now, because it was in Forces, it's all bad. Throw it out. I never want to see it again. Bro, if they could throw Sonic out of Forces, they would.
Although I guess, to be fair, the observation I made just now about classic Sonic Zelda design could apply to some parts of Forces classic Sonic. Like Ghost Town has a pretty complete upper area compared to.
Yeah, the level is big. It's just really boring. It's just kind of boring. Just
same thing with Death Egg. They're just.
Death Egg has one really good. Yeah, Death Egg, at least for me, only has like one really good skip, and it's only because it makes me not want to cry. Because when I saw that Death Egg was in Sonic Forces, because I like vaguely remember watching a brain scratch commentary of a video of Sonic Forces and some reviews, but I didn't like sit through a full playthrough or anything and like pay attention, so I didn't know that the Death Egg Loopy-Loos were back, and I actually almost started sobbing because I was so mad. Because I was like, no, why'd you have to bring back the worst mechanic? It's so boring. It's so boring. You just watch Sonic go around in circles. It's not fun. It's not intuitive. It's just. It's like, so when I found out that when I figured out there was a way to skip it, I was so happy, dude. Almost made me like Forces for like 3 seconds, and then I remembered I was playing Sonic Forces.
Then so you're back in depression. I think kind of the thing is why it's a little less effective in Forces because they don't really utilize 3D the same way classic stages and generations do.
Yeah, the camera is incredibly important.
Plus generations, sometimes you go into the background and foreground. You don't really do that in Forces.
Yeah. A thing that was very funny, Crisis City is mostly 2D, but no one ever complains about Crisis City. Only about Planet Wisp.
Well, probably because Planet Wisp takes longer than... I did think that was interesting when I was playing this game. Like, not a lot of it is spent really boosting, I think.
A lot of, well, yeah, this game, unlike Unleash, is very much more platforming heavy. There's a lot of, you only boost if you force it, basically, or if it's just straight away.
Like with this stage and specifically, there's a lot more.
I think
there's not really a lot of straightaways except for the ending.
Yeah, you kind of are mostly platforming, and if you boost, you're mostly just air boosting to just move faster. Okay.
I was saying in my playthrough, it's just like Sonic 06. You're barely spending any time going fast.
Yeah, that level is very, very stomp heavy. It's like the stomp tutorial. Even though it's like the end of the game. They didn't. The thing is, it's like they found a compromise. They're like, fine, we won't hide mechanics. We just won't tell you about them until like we feel you need to use them.
This Nerf gun is the context of my ARM sponsorship. It's a Sonic Nerf gun.
Sonic Nerf gun is crazy. No one would be happy being shot by a Sonic Nerf gun.
Nacho says, I think it's about the feeling of it because you have like 2 3D sections and one 2D section. I don't know if that's talking about Crisis City, Planet Wisp.
Planet Wiz feels like someone took a shotgun to Sonic's knees. It's not that bad, guys.
like the actual control isn't any different. Like the way it controls isn't any different.
No, what he means is just that like you just can't move fast. There's not a lot of moving fast in that level, which is fair enough. You're not like you were just saying. There's not a lot of boosting.
Well, in the second half,
I don't know. I didn't even feel that way about Planet Wiz because I think I used the air. Maybe it was just because I felt more compelled to use the air boost in Planet Wiz. Whereas in Crisis City, I just kind of did the homing attack air dash a lot.
Yeah, the homing attack's better because it has more control. That barrel is an op. Doesn't help you. Literally just slows you down.
It's not the first time Sonic's first enemy was a barrel. Actually, maybe it is. We don't know when this chronologically takes place next to Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
No, it's supposed to be post 3 and Knuckles because you get the Insta Shield in the skill shop.
So I'm guessing
Pimp Tom says, I'm currently wanted in 64 countries.
Ah! I got trapped! I got trapped! I literally can't move. That wasn't even a skill issue.
Will Sooner fan and Nemo said earlier, I feel vindicated. About what?
I think that when we were talking about the pathways. Currently wanted it. Oh! There we go. Still worked. Still worked. Part is when you take the rocket and use it before entering climbing the time and skip all of it. Yeah, that's not how the level was supposed to be designed.
But then again, the level is rushed and shit, so.
Well, I would say the classic one. I would say the classic one's rushed. The modern one's fine. It actually created a brand new gimmick.
The whole feel of Sonic games is defying the developers' expectations. Am I right?
I would say Planet Wiz does feel like a last level. It is very long.
Will Sooner says the whole thing about how Forces makes people hate things they were okay with just because it's Forces.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think it is. I think it is sort of a case where you have to look at things and say, would I be okay with this if this was a good game? Like, would I still love Generations if it had the weird jerky camera that Forces has? Probably, honestly. I might not like it if it had Forces mid-air controls though.
And Generations already doesn't have like amazing mid-air control or anything. Sonic is a
straight up counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's just not helpful. I remember I had to explain to someone. I figured out how the jump works in Forces. It's bad, but I figured it out. And I was like at the movie showing for Sonic Movie 1. It was just coming out. So like we were talking about Sonic 4. I was like, dude, I figured it out. It's because it's like a butchered version of the Sonic Lost World jump, and you're trying to jump.
Exactly.
It's like you're trying to jump like it's a normal Sonic game. It's not. It's a butchered Sonic Lost World jump. If you pretend it's Lost World, it all makes sense.
People complain about the short close of Forces was good. It's like
a lot of the complaints that people had about Forces would be considered nitpicks and not real criticisms if the game was good.
Yeah.
But because the game is bad, everything's a real criticism. Because when you're mad at something, you're just looking for anything to hate about it. Like, we make fun of Sonic 06 loading screens. The thing, but this is like a thing. Like, we make fun of Sonic 06's loading screens, and they are bad. But the thing is, if you play most games from that time period, they also have terrible loading screens, just as long as Sonic 06. But Sonic 06 is a bad game, so it's just another thing that you're mad about.
Also not to mention, right? Yeah.
And also, 06 has too many loading screens. But that's besides the point.
Speaking of the 06 loading screens, right? Yeah. It doesn't really. The loading screens in 06, right? Yeah. If you like, I know this. I don't know if this counts, but if you like emulate it or like you use the Xbox Series S via download.
No, what he's
but
talking basically he's saying in modern day there's ways to get around the loading screens, which I agree.
Oh,
like
yeah, that's fair.
I played 06 on Xenia. It's a lot better. It's just the thing is when you're already mad at something, when something's just minor annoyance, it makes you even more mad.
The funny thing about that is that the 06 loading screens are the densest in the parts of the game that are already the worst. That being the town missions.
Exactly. So then it just adds to the annoyance. It's like I'm already doing this stupid town mission, and now you got me waiting through four loading screens. You know, it's just. You know,
honestly, in my opinion, when I played 06, because I just played the original 06. I don't think the missions were that bad.
That's how I know you haven't played other open world games, bro. Because what the heck, those missions are terrible. There's swim through all the rings.
Listen, man. I like to say I'm a little less impatient. Kind of ironic because I have ADHD and autism.
Welcome to the club.
What's up?
So it ain't that bad. So it ain't that bad to me. And I have played. Because I don't mind taking my time on shit. Because, you know what I mean? I got time to take shit. You know what I mean?
Nah, bro. My time is very valuable to me. And those missions are so boring.
If I think if there weren't, I think they'd be a bit more tolerable if there weren't so many.
If it was all like that one shadow mission where it tells you the mission, you know, and then you go into the mission, not you accept the mission, go to a loading screen, they tell you the mission, you go into a loading screen, you go into the mission, you know, like, it's like if they just did that one shadow missions thing, they would still be bad missions, but they would just be like, less annoying. They would be less annoying. They would still be annoying. Still, I would...
It's like, a lot of the Frontiers puzzles are kind of similarly basic concept, but they're fine because they're just kind of a thing.
They're just kind of there. They kind of are like mini brain teasers, and that's like about all they need to be for me to get that little tiny dopamine of like, hey, I did it. And then I move on, you know? I'm not... The town missions take up too much of my time, man. And even if they didn't, the missions suck! Because Sonic 06 is not a well-designed game.
That I agree. It ain't. At least the original isn't a well-designed game.
I think the level design is good. That's about it.
I think it might. I think the level design in Sonic 06 is kind of one of my favorites, especially when you play them in a better game.
Mm-hmm. If you play it with good controls, yeah, it's a pretty good.
Exactly.
It's like it has like the best, like some of the best design of the event. At least the Sonic stages. I think the Shadow stages are good but not amazing. They're kind of too focused on combat for my liking. For a game that only has one button combat. But Silver just isn't fun. Like even in Project 06, I don't like Silver. It made the game when they added Silver into Project 06, it made the game worse. The game was better without him in it. I know, I'm sorry to Silver fans out there, but like I genuinely just do not like him.
No, you're fine to have that opinion.
It's not understandable. The other thing about the whole, they wouldn't. Little Sooner says they wouldn't because now Sonic criticism is erased to what can or can't be used to support a narrative. Like everyone arrives at one conclusion and works backwards from there.
The one thing the one thing I don't like from my community is just that the community is like either toxic to a fault or positive to a fault.
I love the Sonic Frieza win. I love the Sonic Frieza win debate, bro. It's been so it's so great seeing people. It's so bad, man. It's like I'm so glad none of you are writers. Because what happens is when we get Sonic fans as writers, we just get Sonic Omens. Because, oh my gosh, you guys are terrible writers. You guys are so annoying. It's like, oh my gosh, they're like, oh man, you know, Sonic should just not, Sonic can't have a cell phone. Sonic's not a chemical. It's like, what? Why do you care if he has a cell phone? It's not that deep. If he has a cell phone or not. Sonic, I know, would never have a cell phone. You know, Sonic doesn't have a home. Sonic just lives in the forest. Eating berries. Some shit.
Bro. Listen, bro.
That's very the hypothetical scenario we mentioned in the first Sonic.
There's kind of people you don't pay attention to because people are probably waiting anyway.
Everyone's reeling from you just mentioning Sonic Omens.
Consider you were bad. I wonder if they patched that cutscene. Have they finally fixed that cutscene that doesn't work? You know, I wonder about Omen sometimes. I know they did that Supersonic update. Someone tried to tell me, oh, they fixed the game, you should play it. I'm like, last time they said they fixed the game got worse.
Also, I don't tend to think stories from Sonic are that bad because I can name 2 examples of of it being good. What Super Mario Bros. Z and what you call it, and Sonic Rise of Knuckles, I think they were good.
I don't think I've seen either of them.
Mario Brothers Z, no one's watching that for the plot. You're watching that for the action. And with Nazo Unleashed, Nazo Unleashed doesn't really have a plot. It's about the action. The plot's just Dragon Ball Z. If you've ever watched Dragon Ball, that's the plot.
I've seen Dragon Ball.
Yeah, then you should know that the Nazo Unleashed is just the Cell arc.
I know, yeah.
It's we can't really say that's good writing. It's just something else. It's like, again, those things we watch for the boxing, not for the quality of storytelling. And I don't really expect good storytelling out of the Sonic fanbase, mostly just because Sonic doesn't really have a lot of good stories. It has good, fun stories, it has good characterization, but like on a Act 1, Act 2, if this were a movie basis, the stories are usually just not great. If you think about them for longer than 2 seconds. Black Knight's like one of the strongest.
Black Knight is like, yeah.
It's like one of the strongest.
Like the one exception for me where I can actually pretty confidently say it's actually a good story in a vacuum.
Yeah, in a vacuum by itself, it is a good story. It also has good characterization.
But it kind of upsets me that it was almost immediately afterwards that they kind of just stopped trying.
Like right after they nailed it. They nailed it. They got a good story going, and then they just said, we're good. Stop trying. No one cares.
What's the most annoying story for me?
It's like a kid who's been getting C's and D's their whole career, finally gets an A, but since no one congratulates them, they just go back to what they were doing before. But this time out of spite.
I'm like gonna have to write my own Sonic story out of necessity at some point.
Like, I think the comics have had some good stories. I think IDW and Archie have had some great Sonic stories, penned by Ian and some other people. I like the Badnik Island story that came out like a few years ago. Like the Scrapnik Island thing. That was a good arc. It's like there's been some. I think IDW's kind of in a weird spot of they're not allowed to progress the plot because for some reason, Sega's not allowing them to move after Frontiers. So they're still in a post-Forces, but they're not allowed to move forward past Frontiers. So the characters can't change, because Frontiers isn't, because they haven't been able to adapt Frontiers yet. So because of that, the characters are kind of just the same people, so they keep focusing on the side characters, but the readers kind of want to focus on the Sonic characters, and it just ends up in a weird feedback loop of nothing happening ever.
I think the main reason, I'm going off of a whim. I think the main reason is because they don't want the archery thing.
And I think the thing is, Evan Stanley is a good writer. I think the problem, she's not as good as working within her boundaries as Ian is. Because Ian's been doing it for a lot longer. Ian's a lot better at working within the weird boundaries Sega set, while Stanley is struggling trying to figure out, well, then what story can I tell? While Ian will then go create, like, Surgeon Kit. Like, he'll like, work with them. Like, he made their whole backstory and everything. Like, Surgeon Kit. Like, he did their whole backstory. That was his doing. And it's like, he set it up, but then he also had to go, like, he works on the games now, so he can't work on the comic all the time. He's busy. He's, like, more busy than he's ever been.
That's something I was thinking about. Like, Ian Flynn's kind of surprisingly stretched thin, because not only did he do Frontiers, but apparently he also did Origins and also Dream Team, and he's also working on a bunch of supplemental material.
He advises for the TV shows, he advises for the movies. Basically, the thing is, if Sonic's in it and there's a story, Ian Flynn was right there. He wrote the cookbook. I'm not joking. He wrote the cookbook. He wrote the encyclopedia. He's doing, if it's a story, if it's an animation, he's the writer. That's basically what they did. They just made, he does everything.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder at some point, like,
he's gonna crash and burn at some point.
Don't you think they should be getting more writers?
Yeah, more writers than just Ian Flynn. But you know, Sega is an all-or-nothing company. They found out that people liked Ian Flynn's writing, so they said, okay, he will be the only one writing now for all of eternity until he dies.
well, like that'd be true, but Evan Stanley's also working on the comics, and also they got
but they don't. Like, she doesn't work on the games. She only works on the comics.
I guess this doesn't count, but they got someone different for Murder of Sonic. I think it was a different Ian in that.
What? So I hate when that happens. What? You'll see it in a second.
I saw it. Yeah, that's a bit bullshit.
I run out of boost for at the split second, and the homing attack for some reason just can't figure out where it's supposed to go.
Oh, I do see that.
Yeah, it's like, come on, that's not fair.
Yeah, that's pretty bullshit.
Just have to jump ball him.
I tried.
the full hit Silver.
Silver's worst enemy, the ball.
Okay, I need boost. Not
sure the adventure says. Not gonna lie, I forget the chili dog's recipe was very good. Do you think he wrote the recipes, or who do you think did that?
I think he just wrote the characterizations for who the recipes were, or something.
Yeah,
I don't know what he did.
That probably makes the most sense, but...
I ran out of boost. This sucks.
There's a Sonic tuber that wants Ian Flynn fired for a joke in their Christmas Tales tube.
Yeah, no, they're like, Shadow wouldn't do this, or like it was a Son Amy thing or a Shadow thing, and it's just like a, people get mad at Ian Flynn for everything. People get mad at Ian Flynn for things.
Vash says yes for a simple joke about Amy.
Yeah, it was like an Amy thing. But like it's like people get mad at him for a lot of things. People got mad that he tried to, like, that he thinks because the thing is, I'm sorry to say this, Ian isn't autistic. He seems not autistic, and the thing is that's causing a problem because the thing
it seems like he gets it.
Like,
in general.
he gets it, but what I mean is that he's thinking logically. The Sonic community doesn't think logically. See, he's thinking, okay, so Sonic, like, the Son Amy stuff, like, people got really mad at him that in Frontiers, in the initial drafts, he was trying to, like, just wrap it up, you know? Because in his mind, as a writer, as he should, is if we're not going to do anything with this plot point, then the plot point shouldn't exist. Like, it's either you finish it, or it shouldn't exist in the first place. And the thing is, the Sonic community is like, but this is the thing! This is actually good that they actually are in this endless limbo of the. It's a part of the characterization. It's like, you guys can't have it both ways. If you want the characters to be real characters, they're gonna have to progress. They can't be the same. So he was trying to see how much boundaries he could push when he was writing the script for Frontier. See what he can get away with, see what he can't, what they would allow him to do. And one of the things was, it's like, he kind of just wants that plot line to end because it's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere. It's just shipping bait.
And also,
Sonic Team has
Sonic is a kids franchise as well.
It's like the thing is, if they're not going to progress this romance, just kill it, nix it. It's not necessary then. If you're not going to do anything with the romance.
I think he noted that Sonic Team made some tweaks to that part of the story.
Yeah, like the Amy part was the most contention, because like he tried to change it. Sonic Team's, nah, keep it as it is. And he's like, okay, fine. But like people, it's like, also I feel like a lot of people who were complaining don't know how stories are made. You throw ideas at the wall, not all of them stick. Nothing exists.
You choose which ones. You figure out which ideas work. Tweak which ones don't.
Yeah, everyone's
keep doing that until you got something good.
Yeah, it's like people keep getting mad. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't understand Sonic because his first draft wasn't perfect. You know, the first draft that you weren't supposed to be able to read. Was it perfect? Oh man, for shame.
I don't know. I don't understand people, like, especially like Sonic fans. This is why I don't call myself a Sonic fan. I like Sonic. I just don't want to call it Sonic.
I call myself a Sonic fan because I don't let a fan base define what I am. And it's like, I don't care.
I like
cool
the
for you.
games.
That's cool for you, but like, me being autistic doesn't really help.
Like, I have
my
girlfriend bought me like a Sonic keychain, so I like wear that in public all the time, so people know who I am.
First, but like, and especially mentally, I don't know. Like, I just don't. And also, like, the main reason why I'm trying to distance my way from Sonic is because, like I said, I don't want to become one of those kind of Sonic fans that only plays Sonic, and that's literally it.
There are some people who are definitely not video game fans, but they are Sonic fans.
I know. I just don't want to be part of that community, if that makes sense. I don't mind like, you know, having a club or something. That's what we're doing right now. But just like doing part of those kind of things.
Okay. Where's the key for? Where's the key? I forgot where the key is. I forgot where the key is. I
think it's kind of low. I think it's kind of low. And you gotta take a platform.
There it is. Yeah, it's like right at the bottom here.
What? Hey, wait a minute. Why should I be helping you?
Thanks, Iggy. Thanks, Iggy. Thanks, Iggy. Thanks for help. It's like, wait a minute. What am I doing?
But nah, I don't. But nah, I've kind of accepted that I'm not gonna win that. Just so.
Hey, you got that secret. You got that secret rings win on lock, bro. On lock.
Indeed. Maybe I think the one thing I might end up having to my name is playing every single game.
Yeah, you played it. I wanted to play Secret Ring, so I could also say that, but then my computer didn't exist. And there's not much I can do about that. Like, my computer just broke, and I had to get it.
weird.
Fixed. Well, my computer actually
it's
didn't
funny.
break. I didn't have a charger, so I couldn't turn it on.
Vashro says people take Ian Flynn out of context a lot on Twitter. Like it's funny how Ian Flynn says.
Yeah, bro.
Do
And
not
then,
think about the day-to-day timeline. You're not going to make it.
yeah, people do not
And
have
Sonic
it.
and Sonic
Oh, sorry. Continue.
Sonic fans only looked at him. Sonic fans only looked at him saying SA1 to Frontiers is a year and a half, but they couldn't tell if he was being serious about it. Couldn't tell he was not being serious about it.
Yes, another thing, because Sonic fans, a lot of Sonic fans are autistic, they cannot discern jokes, and they take everything 100% seriously. Or they get really weird ideas. It's like, remember when Sonic Prime was, like, finishing, and he said it takes place, after Sonic, dang it, oh, I messed up, oh, this is bad.
That was something I deliberately avoided looking at until I watched Prime, and like months later I still have not watched Prime, so, you know.
Well, he said it was like after Sonic, it was like post-Sonic Advance 3. He said it takes place after Sonic Advance 3. And Sonic Twitter, using the genius minds that they are, took it as it took place directly after Sonic Advance 3. Because they don't have... Instead of that, it takes place in the timeline after Sonic Advance 3 at some point.
Or just...
Again, if you're not incessantly specific with the Sonic community, they will be confused. They will go like, huh? What? But you said, and it's like, no, he didn't mean that literally.
Master the Adventurer says common in VW. Is it though?
It's like.
I don't think I have been having these W's very commonly.
I don't know, people. It's just really. Yeah, this is why I kind of want to look away from it.
Oh my gosh, the homing attack. Camera. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
That was something that funny happened. Something that funny that happened during my run. Like, I was on Speed Highway, and has this happened to you where you're on the part after the building? Or no, it's more towards the end where the camera shifts to like an overhead view for some reason.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Yeah,
that happened to me too.
The camera breaks in the PC version sometimes.
What the fuck? That was a cheapskate.
It's like the nuance, the lack of nuance. Like, he had to basically go like, if I say that Sonic 4 takes place after Sonic CD, am I saying that it takes place directly after Sonic CD? No! I'm saying that it takes place afterwards, as in generally.
I feel like sometimes, I don't know. It's just weird.
It's so embarrassing. It's like, dude, do you not understand nuance or words? And it's like the answer is no. And it's like, oh, okay, well.
KJ, 2024. I don't think people understand what nuance is. Because if we did, then political tension wouldn't be as high.
No, political tension is definitely still a thing, even with nuance. I'm gonna be so real. Things are pretty bad right now. What the heck, is it broken? No way.
I think it just takes a bit.
No. It broke.
Maybe it's a chaos emerald.
No, I didn't. Look at it. It's not. I didn't miss one. Oh my gosh.
I found a chaos emerald.
I thought.
Oh shit.
No. Oh no.
Oh, now it's moving.
No.
Okay, yeah, it just broke for a second. It just wasn't moving. What the heck? That's the first time that's happened. It's like, did I do it too quickly? Did I do it too quickly?
Thought you were soft walking the hub world, didn't you?
Being soft log in the hub world would be terrible at the very end of my run. That wasted about like 30 seconds that I didn't need to lose. I'm so mad. Oh, dang it, and I missed the air boost. Oh man, this is just peachy.
Bro,
You're
gonna have the worst luck.
I missed the air boost. I'm so mad.
Vash said, Nacho says Sonic CD takes place between Paper Mario and Sonic Colors. I mean, and then
what the?
Where does the 1,000-year door fit on the Sonic timeline?
It's like, but yeah, no, it was just like, it was like one of those insane moments where like it was just like, are you guys for real?
Little Sooner fan.
Sonic Frontiers takes place after Sonic 1. Like, come on.
Well, like Little Sooner Fran and Emma said.
Oh, he said something similar. Yeah, like
Ian.
Yeah, I saw it. I just read it.
Ian can say, remember how much people were ticked at him saying Sonic is a kids franchise?
Oh yeah, people hate when he says that. It is. It's like he's like my target. Like he literally said it was one of the, I remember one of the cast, and people were so mad at him for this when he was like, if you want something to delve deeper into the morality of killing and war and all those and the effects of those things and want to have like really hard consequences, you may have to read something for your age range, not a Sonic book for children. And they're like, see, that's just him. And it's like, he's using an excuse. He's using an excuse. It's like, he's not saying that the writing has an excuse to be bad. What he's saying is, they're not going to cover certain themes, like why is Eggman still alive after him committing a bunch of war crimes? Like, they're not going to go over that. Because why? It's a children's franchise.
Well, at least not anymore. Like, now it is.
No, it's still a children's franchise. It's always been. Even when it was in its edgy phrase, it was still a children's franchise. It was just trying to appeal to children who thought that those things were edgy. It's like the audience was. They were trying to make kids think that Sonic was cool.
Shadow the Hedgehog was made for the 6-year-old. For the 6-year-olds who thought Jack and Daxter was for people for a younger age group than them.
Yes. Yeah, no. Oh, dude, that time period was so bad. Like, have you actually, like, I don't know if you guys have heard the Naughty Dog interviews of why they changed Jack and Daxter to be as edgy as it is.
Yeah, that was what I was referencing.
Yeah, I know you've heard it, but like, I'm saying it for the crowd. Like, basically, they were showing, like, demoing Jak 2 in an early format. It was similar to Jak 1. And then kids who were playing Jak 1, because it was post Grand Theft Auto coming out, these were little kids, like 8, 9, like little kids going like, oh yeah, this is something that my little brother could enjoy. They're 9. Saying that Jak and Daxter, the kid-friendly platformer, was too little for them. That time period was a dark time. It was
the question that's on my mind now that I'm thinking about it is, like, we see now we live in an age where we get a lot of indie platformers that are like spiritual successors to kids franchises.
But they're for the adults. Not a lot. Not a lot. It's
usually the adults that are playing it
because they're playing which is actually my beef with the indie scene right now. Too much of the indie scene is just remember this, but like they don't make it anymore, so I'm making it, and I'm like, that's so derivative. Make a new game, please. Please make a new game. You're very much less cool if you're just making spiritual successors to like things that already exist. It's like, it's not as interesting as you think it is.
How hard is it to understand that certain things you can't do in kids' media?
Not Sonic fans, because I saw like one Sonic fan just crash out on Twitter one time talking about like the series should be rated M or T for teen at minimum. The Sonic movie should be PG-13. With like, there was a genuine conversation. People saying Sonic movie 3 needs to be PG-13. Are you stupid?
Listen, bro. Listen, bro. If you want to watch I thought like PG-13 and plus, go watch an Avengers film.
It's like, dude, this isn't for. It's like, and this is what I mean. It's a millennial problem. Millennials have a hard time of accepting that not everything is for them. Because they still hang out in their children's friends. They refuse to move on and grow up and become adults. So they like still pay attention to their children's franchises, which is fine to do. It's okay to pay attention to things that you liked when you were a kid. But you gotta grow up at some point. You gotta move on. Like, you gotta like not